Hello and welcome to GlitchSlam Wrestling. My name is Liam and I'm here with my good friend Thomas.
How's it going, boys
Let's
and girls?
go. This is our Raw review for today, and everyone, what was another really good episode of Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah, they tend to have to understand how to do this thing now at this point, maybe.
Yeah, Triple H cooking, Paul Levesque era cooking. We're loving it.
Cooking.
Um, Although we did start the show off on a very very sad note. Us Australians, I think, if you don't know, in Australia, it's actually been announced that tomorrow we've actually got a public holiday because
It's a day of mourning.
a day of mourning because unfortunately our mommy, Australia's collective mommy, had to relinquish her title. Okay, sorry, give me a second.
So this is a tough day for all of us.
Yeah, so obviously, I think it was rumored online. I stay off online, so I didn't see it, but I did see
I
her
saw.
walk out with the sling.
I only heard about it after it had already happened.
Same. So
Like I went on Twitter and saw that there'd been rumors about it, but it already happened on TV at that point by the time I'd seen them. So
yeah, I forgot to check. Did you see what like her actual injury is? If she's got an actual injury, or is it a bit?
no, from what she's saying, a couple of months, it's probably similar to what Punk has, but
Yeah,
maybe not as bad.
yeah,
So
okay.
probably a tricep or a bicep injury.
Ah, man, yeah, no, that's rough. So yeah, Rhea
Yeah,
comes out. Although it does lead for a great angle with Liv on her revenge tour, being the one that injured her. I didn't even think about it last week when Liv threw into a brick wall.
and yeah.
So
I'm sure, like, because from what it was saying, she did go injured go into a WrestleMania match
yeah, I wouldn't be
with a wrist
shocked.
injury.
Yeah.
So I don't think this was entirely planned storyline wise, but
Oh,
I think
no way.
they would have they would have had the contingency ready for it probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so that opens the show. Um, Nothing much more to say about that. It just sucks. Hopefully,
Yeah.
she's not out for too long. I can also see literally, I can see Liv winning the belt and maybe just Rhea coming back and destroying her and taking it back straight away. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sucks with like vacating the belt through injury is that you lose what can be gained through someone actually beating the
Oh,
champion.
100%. Whoever bet
So
Rhea was going to be massive.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. But you lose out on that now.
yeah.
But you know,
But hey, it creates a
obviously
bit
it can't be
of,
helped.
shock, a bit of, unexpectancy of where they're going to go now. So, hey, I'm keen to see where they go.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
They announced that they're gonna crown the new champion literally next week on Raw. So
Listen, they're just gonna do it
they
like
didn't say how. I don't think they said how. Um, there
I imagine it'll just be a regular match or maybe like a
maybe
fatal four way or something
some kind of
with
fatal
with the
four
top
ways, battle royale,
triple threat. Yeah.
something crazy. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. Still sad though. Still, hopefully Rhea's back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Um,
We
there,
can only hope.
yeah. Well, one person leaving leads on to the next person returning. You got Sheamus returns. I can't remember how long he's been out for, but it's been a while.
It's been probably about the same time from when I think when Butch injured.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Um, not Butch. Rich Holland injured. Was it Kit Wilson? I can't remember which one he injured, but
Elton Prince.
yeah, I think because it was about that same time he went off air because it was about or a little bit before that I think.
Yeah, you know
So
he's back. He's versus Ivar. I mean, I assume he was injured. So to come back and your first match would be against like the heaviest, beefiest dude in the company. I
yeah,
mean, it's going to be a sign that he's ready to go. Um,
he also came back with a remix of one of his first songs, so that was pretty cool to hear.
I didn't even pay attention to that, but sick.
Yeah.
We had a second rope white noise, which I thought was sick. Just with Ivar picking up Ivar, like, yeah,
That's Mental.
Yep, fair enough. I think the one thing I noticed was Sheamus was noticeably, what's the word? Puffed out. He was noticeably
Yeah, no.
exhausted after like the first 2 minutes.
They definitely have to rebuild the cardio afterwards. But
Yeah,
hey,
but hey, it's
he's
fine.
been out for probably
Yeah,
6, 7 months at this point, it feels like.
it's been a long time, definitely. So I'm sure with his Celtic warrior workouts, whatever they call
Yeah, there
it.
hasn't been. I did check that earlier night because I heard he was coming back, and he hasn't uploaded since in like 7 months. So
Well,
hopefully those start coming back.
they're gonna have to if he's if he's returning. Get some cardio once. Work with some marathon runners or something. Some
Yeah,
special episodes. Um, yeah, it was a good solid match. Fun match for the return. Nothing too notable though, other than what we've already said.
yeah,
Then
just typical Sheamus match.
yeah, then we move on to the camera's panning in, and I say that there is two new belts hidden under some cloth in the middle of the ring. I can't lie. My first hope was they were gonna announce some mid card women's titles, and then reality struck me, and we unveiled some new tag team titles, which are more than well overdue. I think.
Yeah, the design is growing on me of the new belts, but it's already an improvement on the old ones.
Yeah, I think definitely my initial reaction was like, it wasn't like a fully like, oh yeah, that's sick. It was like a kind of like, I think I like it, but I'm not sure. But then the more I saw it,
Yeah,
and like when I saw the graphic for their title defense next week with the belt in the background, I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. That is a good looking belt. So um,
especially since it fits more into the theme that they have going on with all the other title belts.
yeah, exactly. I think that was the thing in my mind that I thought would be tough with tag belts is like I think it's going to be hard to make a new belt that is diverse from like the singles belts, but also modernizing it at the same time to be intact with the singles belts. So they've definitely done a good job of that, I think. So I like
Yeah.
it.
Um, Obviously that also means that next week on SmackDown we'll be getting new tag belts there as well,
Yeah,
which we can assume they're going to be the from what I've heard, they're going to be the WWE tag belts as opposed to the World tag belts.
right. Yeah,
And so they're probably going to look more similar to the WWE Championship, the Undisputed One,
yeah. See,
as opposed to
that's
the heavyweight.
I'm definitely curious about that. Whether it would just be like a circular version of it, because I'm like I don't know
Yeah.
how it'll work, but I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll cook. Um,
Yeah, I'm sure they'll make it work more than likely.
but yeah,
We can only hope.
so we had the usual R Truth shenanigans where he
Yep.
thinks that Triple H is
He's
Champa.
from, and then backstage thinks that Champa is still Triple H.
Yep. And then he gets all excited when DIY start walking to the ring, and you can see him like mouthing, it's like there's Triple H. Like, oh man, he needs to be protected at
He's
all costs.
so good.
He must be
I
protected at all
love him.
costs. He's a national treasure. Um,
He's funny.
yeah, I mean, I'm keen to see how they pull off this tag defense because it's like on paper you see DIY and you see Awesome Truth, and if it was just a normal match, you go DIY is they've got to win surely, but knowing Awesome Truth and how they got in the title shot in the first place, there's going to be something goofy that our Truth is going to do, and it's just going to be great. I'm keen for it. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be a very very fun match.
Yeah, it'll be good. I don't know how long they'll have these titles still, just because I don't think you can't really have a comedic character hold the belts for too long, in
Yeah,
my perspective.
yeah, no,
But I'm still gonna fucking love it because R-Truth is just a legend.
yeah, I think yeah, I don't know how if they're gonna try and do anything storyline wise with them now because it seems like maybe they're done with the Judgment Day storyline. But then again, I say that literally it was only just last week that they were interacted, so I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, who knows? We'll have to see what happens with that one. Speaking of the tag titles, we then move on to the triple threat tag match number one contenders, blah blah blah, between DIY, New Day, and the Creed brothers. And the first thing I want to mention real quick, I don't know if you saw it, but I I was meant to check this before I started recording. There was a QR code that flashed up on the screen during the
Oh,
New Day's walkout. Did you
yes.
see what it is?
This is. I didn't see what was on it. But all I know is that Matt Hardy is also linked to this because he
Oh.
tweeted out the video of that happening.
Uh,
I was waiting for you to mention it because I
oh.
looked it up just before and he legitimately tweeted out about it, and I'll send you the tweet.
Is there a chance that he just tweeted it because he saw it and was like, that's cool? Or do you think he tweeted it because he's involved?
I think it's more likely he's involved because he was involved in some of the original Bray Wyatt family storylines and the Fiend storyline back when he was with the WWE.
All right, please humor me for a second if anyone's listening. Okay, no, all right. I need to scan this QR code real quick, or do you want to do it and
Um,
I'll go through the match.
it's all good. From what I've seen, it just leads to like cryptic messages and a
Okay.
couple of puzzles that I don't have the energy
Yeah,
or
hang
the
on, guys. Just give me ten
brain power to
minutes. I'm just
solve.
gonna I'm just gonna quickly finish all these puzzles real quick.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have the graphic of what was shown, all that in the video, most likely, if you
Yeah,
can
maybe
bother working it out.
we'll see. But yeah, okay. The actual match though, we had some. It was. I mean, anytime you get these three tag teams in a match, you're guaranteed at minimum a good match. I think this was a
Yeah,
really fun match. We had Creed brothers catch both of DIY outside the ring, and then New Day both did somersaults on top of both of them while they were still holding DIY. So that was cool. Um, we had this really cool close finish with Champa over Kofi after Project Champa and crazy sequence prior. There was some crazy shit there. The Creed brothers at one point tried to pin all other four members of the tag match, um, as you do. And I really liked the finish. It was clean as. They had Xavier was pinning, I think he was pinning one of the Creed brothers. And then while he's pinning them, both DIY hit him with a meet in the middle and then pin Xavier for the win. So that was really cool.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
I did miss most of this match. I did see a little bit of the finish. I didn't know who was attacked, but I did see the ending.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
no, it
that's really
was
good context.
yeah. If you haven't seen it, yeah. But yeah, just a it's basically standard at this point with especially the Raw tag division. I mean, even the SmackDown tag division. The tag division is so stacked right now. Like you can
Yeah,
put any
if
combination of four tag teams in a match and it's guaranteed to cook. It's insane.
yeah, there's a good amount of depth to it at the moment. Like if they hadn't split those titles, we would have been pretty fucked.
Yeah. I mean, the fact you
It
have,
would have been
without even like naming teams, there's at least like 10 tag teams in each division. It's actually kind of nuts. Like
yeah.
it's actually kind
Well,
of insane.
like I kind of forget about it. Like then I go through and go, oh, that's right. These guys are good. Oh, actually, and this team and this team. Now I remember there's actually a bunch of teams.
There's so much depth. Obviously, there's the ones on top get showcased a bit more, like pretty much all the teams that were in the WrestleMania match. But then
Yeah,
like even outside the teams of the WrestleMania match, you've got your Creed brothers who weren't there,
Pretty Deadly weren't there.
Imperium, Pretty Deadly.
Imperium, yep.
There's it's just insane, and I mean they're forming new ones as well. Like, it's get keen for some nutty tag title matches in the future. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, I'm getting excited.
Then we had next one of my personal favorite segments, and I think you might know what I'm about to say. We had the Indian Candice versus Ivy and Maxine match. As usual, the crowd could not care less.
Yeah,
But that's standard for women's tag matches. But yeah, I was gonna note that Maxine, um, definitely is showing mad improvement. Like it was only a short segment she was in there for. Like it couldn't have been longer than
Yeah,
like 2 minutes. But in those 2 minutes, she pulled off like some of the cleanest moves I've seen her do. So big respect to that, 100%. But the main note of the whole match is Indy has finally accepted the dark side with Candice. It's what we love to
she's
see.
agreed to turn heel.
It's just I'm I'm so glad. I was so worried that like Indy was going to get left in the dust because
And
Candice
they
was going to
just
turn heel and
split it
Indy
up.
was going to get be a face. And thing is, like Indy's a cool face, but I feel like she needs to like get over first with some kind of storyline as a face for people to care about her. But I think it's a lot easier. You don't need to get over as a heel as long as you're being a good heel. So
Yeah,
hopefully she cooks because it's not my Australian bias that is to why I love Indy Hartwell so much, but it is a lot. But also, Indy is like half the reason why I got into wrestling. So make of that what you will. Yeah,
oh man,
I love this segment though. I literally just put at the bottom of my comments, I like. So,
I like it.
um, we then moved on to we had a little backstage segment with the in the Judgment Day locker room, which I thought was interesting. Um, what I noticed is Damien is definitely inserting himself as the leader. I think that's pretty much confirmed now. Um,
Yeah, he was clearly taking control of the whole thing.
yeah, and I mean it later on in the future matches
The
in the
segment.
show. It becomes pretty apparent. Um, although I will say in this little backstage segment, Finn did show a little bit of hesitation. Obviously, Finn brings up the fact to Damien. He says, "Hey, man, I think we should be focusing on getting our tag titles back." And then Damien pretty much just shuts him down, which,
Which I think it's probably because he has the world title
yeah,
and he doesn't really care about the tag titles anymore.
yeah, which could definitely lead to a bit
But
of tension, I think.
yeah, because it does leave Finn in this weird
Yeah,
empty spot at the moment.
yeah, it's like Finn and Damien were undisputed tag titles, and now they've lost the tag titles. Damien's got this new belt, and Finn's like, okay, well, can I get my tag titles back?
Where's my silverware?
Although Finn, there's other members of Judgment Day, bro. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, your boys with JD, your boys with Dom, man, get him in the tag division. Let's go. It's funny how they seem to like they're like two separate tag teams, but they can't intertwine. It's always Dom and JD or Finn and Damien. Like there's never a Finn and Dom or a Finn and JD, even though a Finn and JD would make the most sense to be honest.
given that Finn was the one that brought JD in.
Legit. So, to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in the future. Whether that's like if Finn wants those tag titles back, then he may have to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Um, so then we moved on to Dominic versus Andrade, and Dom looked really good in this match. Especially, I don't know if I hope you saw it. Did you see Dominic's Canadian Destroyer on the apron?
Yes, I saw that. I saw Andrade's weird, like, looked like he slipped into like a moonsault off the top rope.
Oh yeah, that thing. That shit's cold. Unfortunately, it missed. But yeah, when I saw that, I actually I thought Dominic was like, I thought Dom was lying in the wrong spot, and then Andrade's like, no, I got this. That shit was sick.
Yeah.
And then that brutal that back elbow as Dom's doing as Dom's running off the ropes, as Dom's running the ropes. That spinning back elbow just with the loudest slap. Oh my god, that was brutal. Andrade gets the win. And then Dom and
Not a huge surprise,
no,
but
not a huge shock, but it was still a good match. Definitely showcased both of their abilities. Showcased Dom as
yep.
there was a period of time where Dom was on top in that match, so I think Dom's definitely cooking, as bluntly as we can put it. And Andrade, yeah, he's got to be in the talk for that IC belt at least. I think.
Somewhat soon, yeah.
Um,
Guess we'll have to see where it goes with the current storyline.
yeah, Yeah, definitely. I can see he's probably gonna have a
Save
match
that for.
with. Oh, to be fair, it would make sense for at some point Andrade to have a match with Priest. Whether he wins it or not is another thing, but it makes sense. Like,
Yeah, well, if that's where it's leading, he's currently going to go through every member of the Judgment Day first. But
yeah, I mean, same as fucking Ricochet as well. Like,
yeah,
obviously after the match, JD and Dom are beating down on Andrade, and Ricochet makes the save. And now they have a tag team match booked for next week, just because why not?
yeah, why not?
They're both. It's you're the enemy of my enemy is my friend, as they say. Smile. Okay. After that, I think I will say at some point in here there was a Jey Uso backstage segment where Jay kind of like he's like, "Damn man, I told Jimmy you should come with me," hinting at the fact they're probably going to reunite at some point. I can't remember when in the show that was, but it happened, and I'm going to mention it now. So cool. Moving on.
Exactly.
Then we had the Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. We had Piper catching Katana midair, throws her out the ring. Kaden attempts to pin Chelsea, then Piper cross bodies her, and then Chelsea gets the pin for a Chelsea Green win. It's what we love to see.
What she's needed after the past 2 weeks, where she's just been beaten on by
Jade Cargill. Yeah, she needed to verse someone who wasn't touted to be like the next big star. So give me some more Chelsea Green glory, please. Just Money in the Bank, please. I beg. What do I have to do for it? I'll do anything. I swear it. Oh man. But yeah, fun match, good match. Nothing too notable other than the finish. The finish was fun. Chelsea Green being her usual entertaining self.
She's just great to watch.
She really is. And if you disagree, I hate you, and I put that bluntly. No ifs or buts. And I'm dead serious. Okay, moving on. Then we have another backstage segment. We've got Liv Morgan, Revenge Tour. All I noted is I'm here for it. I'm here for it. She's I believed the promo. She was looking fierce, and she looked genuinely pissed off, and that's all you want.
Yeah. Did
you see that? I don't know.
No, I did miss that part.
Okay.
I saw her come out during Rhea's part.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course, we didn't mention that earlier. We are rookies. Please allow it. Please allow us.
We are going to forget something. But yeah, Liv did come out during Rhea's announcement, and yeah, I can't remember what actually happened in it. But
they just kind of like beefed a little bit.
Dead each other. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Liv Morgan's little backstage segment. What did she say? She pretty much just said the usual stuff. That she's happy that Rhea got taken out, and she's not. She's pretty much said she doesn't understand why everyone is angry at her when she's did the exact same thing that Rhea did to her, which, in Drew McIntyre style, is not wrong. She is speaking the truth.
Actually, true. I did forget because Rhea was going on about how. At least if I would have come at you and attack you to your face, but when she attacked Liv last time, she blindsided her as well.
So yeah, I think to be fair, if we get like obviously not the exact same thing, but it's gonna be hard to top Drew anyway. But if we get a similar Liv to like Drew right now, where she's just telling truths and just being kind of maniacal, evil, but like also like she's not fully the bad guy, I'll fuck with it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
It'll be great.
Then we had our new champion, Cody Rhodes, come out to the ring for a pretty standard promo. He thanks Seth. He then talks about The Rock. He then talks about the Bloodline. He then introduces Jey Uso. And then Pat McAfee yeets himself. And then Cody and Jay yeet each other.
And then Cody says, I can't... Until we yeet again.
Until we yeet again.
While Jey Uso's sitting there with his yeet glasses and his like puffer singlet jacket thing.
Oh man,
it's such an odd look, but it's funny looking, so I like it.
It's funny, it's goofy, and I love it. Like, I did see some people online. I think I saw it on TikTok. People saying that this whole yeet ruined Jey Uso. I'm like, nah, not really. It's just it splits him apart from his brother. Like it really does, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. The crowd gets behind it. What's to hate? Honestly. Um, yeah. Then we come back from ad break. We have a quick Nia Jax segment. My notes for that segment was is scary. Just moving on. We then had Finn versus Jay. And I like the start of the match. No bias, but Finn Balor is my favorite male superstar. So the match starts with Finn attacking Jay from behind. Finn starts off on top, but dude, Finn was the start of that match. Finn was looking brutal, like the most brutal I've seen him in far too long. Just hitting
Since like right at the beginning of his feud with Seth and that.
legit, like he was just hitting some brutal moves, and like it actually looked like he maybe could have won. Obviously, it wasn't going to happen. I then noted Jay hits his first 3 moves of the match and gets the win because that's pretty much what happened.
See, I missed the match, but I saw what happened after it, and didn't know that the match had actually ended. I thought Jay had just like escaped.
What even happened? Oh yeah, Jay leaves through the crowd after. Yeah, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So
I just thought he was escaping from the beatdown that the Judgment Day brought upon him. But
I mean, sort of, but it was after the match. It was really weird because Finn was on top for the first like half the match. I can't remember how long the match was. I think maybe it was like 10, maybe 12 minutes. Probably not even that long. But Finn started out on top after hitting off the move. Then they had a little sequence towards the end when they were each trying to hit each other with finishes. You know, Finn goes for a coup de grace, the usual. The other person rolls out the way. Blah blah blah. But then then Jay hits a super kick, hits a spear, and then hits a splash, and then wins the match. And like, to be fair, it was one of those things where like I didn't think the match was going to be over because I didn't think he'd done enough. And I think that's probably my one critique on Jey Uso right now, personally, is that I feel like his moveset isn't convincing.
No.
Like,
because it feels like it's just his tag moveset, but with a spear thrown in.
Yeah.
And
like,
the spear isn't the finisher.
And like, and his spear, like, I don't, it's not a great spear. Like,
no, it feels like there's nothing behind it.
It looks like the kind of spear you'd give your mate when you're messing around. Like,
yeah.
Like, I love Jay as a character. I love Jay as a character, and like, I want him to be successful in singles, but I just feel like he just needs maybe to add a couple moves to his moveset. Like maybe add a new finisher. Like he can keep everything else, but just maybe add one or 2 moves that he can do during his final sequence that just look that little bit more brutal. Because like right now, like a super kick and then a half-ass spear and a splash just doesn't do it.
Yeah, like, it's a bit awkward feeling whenever he's like going for that final sequence.
Yeah. Like, there's been certain times where it works, especially after like a long match, and it's been like 50-50 all match, and he's been on top. But like, if you're gonna go to the end of a match where you've been on the bottom for most of the match, and then you're gonna hit 3 moves, you know, those moves are gonna be deadly. Like similar to the Sammy Gunther match at Mania when Sammy hits that fucking
the brain buster,
onto the turnbuckle, like.
Which is a move that he hasn't hit since he was on the Indies.
Yeah, like I'm convinced when someone hits that, I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough, you can win the match. That's cool. Like, you may be losing the whole match and then do that, and I'm like, yep, cool. But yeah, that's my one critique on Jay. Other than that, the match was good. It was alright. It was entertaining enough.
And obviously, the Judgment Day will come out and beat him up,
and he lays them flat. He lays all of them flat and then runs into the crowd, which leads on to a sick sequence, by the way. So
these transitions have been so fucking clean recently.
Like first we had the Kevin Owens one on SmackDown. I say first we had the Sami Zayn one at Mania. Then we had this Kevin Owens one. Then we had another one on
the other Kevin Owens one on
Yeah,
SmackDown,
like we had the
where
one
he's just
where
having a
where
promo.
didn't last week on Raw when Liv took out Rhea, then Dom
Oh
hits the
yeah,
camera
yeah,
away, and then they
yeah.
go out to the ring. Like this shit's sick. I love it. Um, this time, so they follow Jay through the crowd. Jay's getting all excited, all the fans. I did note that some dumbass in a Cody Rhodes shirt thought he could just stand in front of Jay and Jay would just take a
He
picture with
just
him.
got
Like
shoved out the
he just got
way.
shoved out of the way. Like you fucking moron. Like
Like, can't you see the camera
get
following
out
him?
the way, bro. Now you're gonna get clowned on social media for the rest of your life. Like you idiot. It was like that kid on the SmackDown before, or was it the Raw or SmackDown before Mania with Seth, where he just stood there with the camera next to Seth's face. Like it reminded me of that. It was probably the same guy. Okay, so yep, follows Jay. Jay then goes outside, and Sami Zayn's standing outside. I assume looking at the sign of the arena, just soaking it all in. He says some stuff like this is where he started and all the Sami Zayn Canadian stuff. um, then we switch and we follow Sami Zayn to the ring. He's getting gassed. The fans are getting gassed. To be fair, they were getting physical. It was pretty cool. So follow Sami all the way down. He's just getting lit with the crowd. He's running to the crowd, having the time of his life. Oh my god, and them singing his song, bruh. That shit was so loud.
Oh man.
They were loving him. Then yeah, so then we get into the match.
Obviously, Gable versus Sammy. They agreed on it last week. That was his. It was his promise that the one
Yeah,
thing he promised him
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
for the training, and I mean, obviously it's going to be a banger match. It's between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn.
Oh, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about you, but I went into this match going like, there's genuinely like a 50-50 chance that Gable could win.
Yeah, I did assume that there was a chance, but I also went, considering he's just won it, probably not.
Yeah. Well, I think they did do it in the right way. So we'll go through what happened really quick. I did like at the going into the first ad break, like they'd been fighting for a bit, and then they like did like the full face smushing against each other, like face to face, as the like screen darkened and they went into the ad break. So that was cool at the start of the match. Sammy injures his leg after he's on the top rope, and I think Gable either kicks it or shakes it or something, and Sammy falls awkwardly, which he then starts playing up an injured leg. So then Gable starts working that injured leg.
Doing the typical like ankle locks and
Yeah, just
all the stuff he nearly beat him with for the chance to beat Gunther at WrestleMania.
yeah. A lot of I think there was a lot of like hidden callbacks in here as well. Like I think there was a point where Sammy was doing. I mean, there was a point where they were going back and forth, suplexing each other, which is clearly Gable trained Sammy, so Sammy's going to start using Gable's moveset. We had give me a second, sorry. Oh, there was a point where Gable got suplexed onto the top of his head. That shit looked rough. Like it looked pretty. It wasn't like a fucking straight onto the top of his head, but it was like back of the neck, like back of the head kind of thing. Like it was a pretty. They showed a nice slow mo of that. There was a spot where Sammy starts going for a sharpshooter, and his leg gives out, and I legit thought it was a botch for half a second. So it was like really good selling by Sammy. Gable then suplexes Sammy into the turnbuckle, which looked brutal. Gable moonsaults into an ankle lock. I know he's done it before, but it's just so clean. And then Sammy gets the win after an exploder, and then finishes off with a haluva kick.
His typical move, his typical finish, like run of like the way he finishes in matches.
Yeah, but no, this was an awesome match. There was definitely points where I thought that Sammy was going to tap, especially after the moonsault into the ankle lock. He had that shit singed in, like that looked like it was going to be it for Sammy, but he managed to escape.
And then after the match, Sammy's consoling Gable. They do the raise each other's hand in the middle.
The usual
Sammy goes out to
formalities.
celebrate with his family, and then
Ah,
bang,
it just
suplex onto the fucking concrete. Heel turned by Chad Gable.
let's
I'm so
go,
ready. I'm ready for Perk Gable to come here.
bro.
Give him a mouth part and let him start screaming. I'm so ready for it.
Oh man, bro, when he started like crying and like getting all emotional, I was like, oh, something's brewing here. And then when he started
It
hugging the
was
family, you just knew it was coming.
it was like clearly at the end of the match, you can see he's fed up with losing. He's come so close every single time, only just to fall at the last hurdle.
It's just,
And now he's finally snapped,
yeah,
and I'm all for it.
bro, it's gonna be so good. There's so many like things now. It's like, now what happens to Alpha Academy? Is Alpha Academy gonna turn heel? I doubt it. Maxine's way too
So,
babyface.
oh yeah, Maxine definitely doesn't.
Like,
Oh, it's Tozal. Oh, fuck, I was looking up Izal. Actually, what the fuck was I looking up? I was
uh,
mixing his name. But Akira Tozawa tweeted out, "I trust you because you're my coach."
oh, to be fair,
So
and then Otis is his number
we
one
could,
guy.
and I've seen that people like have put pictures of Otis next to Vader from back in the day,
Yep.
which would be interesting to see. Though I feel like Otis is just too nice of a personality to be a good heel.
Yeah.
But
They
it would be
used to be
interesting to
heel.
see.
They used to be heel fairly recently, I believe. So who knows? Maybe Otis will. He'll figure something out. They can't
Yeah,
get rid of him. I feel like I think Alpha Academy as a whole. I think they might. I think they're gonna turn heel. Although, I'm assuming Maxine. Maybe Maxine joins Diamond Mine, even though that doesn't seem like it's a thing anymore either. She's
yeah.
just gonna become a permanent tag team with Ivy.
It's it. Maxine's the only one where I can't see her turning heel.
There's no
It'll
way.
be very
It
interesting.
wouldn't make sense after all this stuff with Candice
Yeah,
and Indy. So yeah, Chad Gable having the second best heel turn of the night after Indy Hartwell.
personally first for me.
Um, no, no bias. I definitely was able to say that with a straight face. Um, yeah, nah, just a really good Raw. Just they're cooking.
Yep.
There's so much
I
shit to look forward to. It's just great.
The one thing I'm disappointed is that we still haven't seen anything with Gunther, which is what I mostly care about at this point.
I,
But I'm sure it'll come eventually.
yeah, I think
He's probably just taking a break because he had
bro's a
it's a fucking
workhorse.
mental stat. 106 title defenses in 660 days. That's like a title defense every week.
It's yeah. Nah, he I think he's taking a well deserved break.
Yeah, I imagine he's taking a huge break.
Yeah.
Maybe like a month, maybe.
Yeah. I think
No, I
when
don't
he
think
comes I
it
can
won't be that long.
I could see it maybe being that long. I think there's a good chance that like he might come back just to like when he comes back it's going to be like who am I going to verse for this title at Bash in Berlin, and they're like the range, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see it actually.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
I just can't
I
wait
think
for
it's
him to be
gonna be
back.
yeah. I think it's gonna be the same situation with Seth. I think Seth's gonna be out for a while.
Oh, Seth's body looked just fucked at the end of the
Yeah,
night
bro.
too.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he just wasn't selling. Like, I'm sure he was selling a bit, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he was in a good amount of actual pain. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
I imagine he's going to take a long break, which is also fair enough
bro
considering he was also workhorsing it
yeah, bro needs it.
his entire reign.
He is. There's a few people who are going to be off screen for a while, I think, after Mania. But hey, we're looking forward to it. If you got this far, thank you. That's awesome. please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe. We're going to be doing SmackDown and Raw reviews every week. I've also just uploaded the latest episode of SmackDown for our Universe mode yesterday.
And the next episode of Raw is in the works as well, so
Coming very
get excited
shortly.
for that.
Yeah. I think that's all. We're all said and done here.
Yep.
Goodbye, beautiful people.
Ah.